Hi there, welcome to another video, and I've done two parts so far of videos called Religious Beliefs Are Mental Disorders, and I've done part two at the end of yesterday as well, and this is part three. I thought I would extend this further and do a third part to it, and I was being brought up in a travelling family kind of background and Christian kind of background, and I saw people being religious and I saw them getting nowhere with it, right? Getting nowhere with it. And they had faith, but they didn't bring them any happiness, right? And I've found that the only happiness comes when we take responsibility ourselves and we become our own gods. Right? And that's the thing, we are all gods on this planet, but not aware that we are gods. Right? That's the thing, we are the co-creators, we are all co-creators. And religion, if you look at religion, what it does, it actually gets people to think that they are their experience, their body. And your body, your life, and this creates racism. Your body and your life is a short time experience. Everything comes from nothingness. And you can't define nothingness. No one can define it. You can't really define nothing. But all we can really say for sure is that it's all infinity. And that's all that we are, just infinity, all of infinity. So that means that you are the God. So all this religious crap is nonsense. Then, if that's the case, if you think about it logically, everything comes from nothing. So that means that everyone's infinity. And we're all the same infinity. We're all one. And this religious stuff, it really controls people. Like I say, like the titles of these videos that I've been doing, religious beliefs are mental disorders. You must have a mental disorder to believe in something that you don't know is true. And you see, when people say, oh, so stuff has come true that the Bible says, no, it hasn't. That has actually got a name, and it's called a self-fulfilling prophecy. This is spoke about in psychology, right? Psychology talks about this. Basically, if I say to you a suggestion, you will then go and make it happen. This is just part of our psychology. I know this because I used to have a mum that done psychic fairs and readings, and a lot of the time the people wanted it to happen. Not to say that my mum wasn't good at what she'd done, but I'm saying that when we suggest something, we naturally just do it. We don't realise we're doing it. We might think we're not wanting to do it, but we naturally do it. And especially something like a book it even says in the Bible, the book of stories. So it's even telling you that it's a book of stories, not facts. You know, I've a little box in my house called Words of Faith. It was given to my family by my grandmother before she died. And this book of Words of Faith is all different passages from the Bible, all different sentences. And I don't look at it literally. I look at everything symbolically. So I have a different experience of reading bits from the Bible than someone who is taking everything so seriously. I listened to the book of Genesis on YouTube, and that was enough Bible for me. I thought, no, I'm not listening to any more of these audiobooks of the Bible, because it's just children's fairy tales. But the sheeple take everything literally. They really take it seriously. Even people who research history deny Jesus' existence. right? There's no actual factual evidence for this person, Jesus Christ. And yet people live by this. Now, I'm not saying it's true or not true, but we don't know. I like to think that there was a person like Jesus, but we can't possibly know from 2,000 years ago, over 2,000 years ago. And if you look at religious people, what are they doing constantly? They're constantly criticizing the other religion. They're missing the whole point. If religion is about love and unity, then if these people are examples of religion, then I wouldn't want to be any part of that religion. A person said to me lately, you should read the Bible, it'll really help you. And I thought he was on my side. Then yesterday he started insulting me, calling me a fool. So obviously you know that person's game. And I've had so many people like that contact me on the internet. They come across as friends. They might be religious, but they're actually not your friend. And all that they repeat is bits from the Bible. It's like they don't have their own mind. Their own mind has been warped by the religion, of which no one knows is true. If you think of it, we are standing in the present and we don't know much of the things from the past are true. What's happening is now with Black Lives Matter, this could have happened years ago. We could have had history that is destroyed. I watched a guy called Al Bielek. He was in the Philadelphia experiment, and he said a lot of the governments actually went back in time and changed history, and that Germany were winning the Second World War, and that history was changed through a time travel experiment. And that's why we experience it as Britain won. If you look at the Second World War, it doesn't say America won the war, it says Britain won the war. Right? We were the champions of the Second World War. This is what people forget about Britain. This is the thing. Britain, Americans always say we've got the best country, but if you look at the history in the Second World War, it says Great Britain won the war, won the First and Second World War. If I'm wrong about that, then someone can correct me. But again, that history, like I said a minute ago about Al Bielek, he said that history was changed. So we don't know. No countries are great, because countries are made up names and labels, like religions, just made up ideas and then presented onto people. Reality, the way it's set up, is a bit like a football game, a soccer game. They put two teams against each other and make them think that they're separate. That's what they do, when we're all one. And, I've tried saying this to religious people, and not them all. I'm not going to say them all. I have spoken to some nice Muslims and some good religious people who are not like that. But you get that type that they are so divided and they can't see it. They can't see how divided they are, and they've got a mental disorder now. And I don't even blame the religion, because it's not anything outward's fault for how we react. It's never that. It's always us that responds to things. It's always our choice how we respond to something. So the problem here in all situations is always ourselves and within us. Like I say, I was brought up with religion, but I say that religion does this, religion does that, but it actually doesn't. We perceive it in a certain way. Like I said earlier, I have the words of faith, and my family always has a Bible, and I've sometimes looked at it and looked at certain words, and I know that some people would take that seriously, but I look at everything symbolically. And when you look at everything symbolically, it's a different result. All it is a different way of looking at things. Because nothing is a certain way, you see. Things are just basically the way we see it. But to look at things from a different angle, you have to have an expanded awareness. Right? I'm like this because I had a spiritual awakening. And so I look at everything as symbology. I look at everything with an open mind. And people I've come across have, and are quite shocked at that. The fact that I've got an open mind. I'm not against globers. I'm not, for the earth. I'm not against flat earthers. I'm not against any of them, because what do I know? We only have our own perspective of things, but there's at least 8 billion more on this planet, and that's only this planet. And do you know that we only see a tiny part of reality within the electromagnetic spectrum that they know in this universe? Right? And our eyes only see a tiny part of it. There's things we don't see that exist. Like internet. We see it on a screen, but it's all over the place. Right? So we don't really know anything. None of us know a thing. Right? And your Bible or whatever book you're looking at is based on someone else's perspective. Right? It's based on their perspective. And when you make something happen, like I know this from when I was a kid growing up in psychic fairs with my mum, a psychic would tell someone's going to happen, and they go make it happen. They go make it happen. Fair dues, they might say something in the past and they had no way of knowing that, but I'm talking about when they say the future, they go make that happen. Because they want it to happen. Like religion. People say, oh, this is happening from the Muslim faith, and then the other one will say, oh, no, it's actually the Christian one, and then, but there's, I don't know how many, but there's lots of religions. I watched a guy on YouTube doing a talk in a university, and he was saying how many religions there are. I can't remember, but there was a lot. And he made a joke, and he said, yeah, everyone thinks that their religion is the right God, is the right one. You see what I mean? And this is the thing. It's crazy. The only thing we know for sure is what we have in this present moment. That's all. That's all we know. We don't know anything else, really. The only thing that is real is this present moment. And that's it. Right? We only have this presence right now. We have nothing else. That's the thing. We only have this present moment. And in this present moment is just pure infinity. And that's the thing. Everything's infinite potential. And the past is just our imagination. Future is just our imagination. That book you've read is all in your imagination now. Even physicality isn't real. That book you're thinking, the Bible, isn't even a physical book. Science has proven how everything is energy. A lot of religious people don't like science, and the reason they don't like science is because science can disprove their God. That's the thing. That's why they don't like science. Right? But science is very important. I think that science is very important. We need science, and we need science to evolve. But it's no point arguing, over it, because it's like I was on this site a while ago, and all these religious people were criticizing Stephen Hawking, and this scientist said, "You don't know what you're talking about," because they certainly know more about reality than some religious freak. Not all of them, but if they've got machinery, they can actually go back and see a computer thing. They can actually go back, and see how the universe began. It began from nothing. Everything comes from nothing. If you think about it, everything has to come from nothing at some stage, right? And there's not a debate there. It's the way it is. But religious people will then insult you. Like yesterday, I got called a fool because when they're losing the debate, people will then insult you because they're not winning. They don't have the intellect to win. so they start insulting you. But the only truth is present moment, and I'm just going to leave it there. And if you want to check latest updates from me, videos, etc., please do check my website at www.lovelikefamily.com. Thank you for watching and listening.